Good afternoon. Welcome, everybody. This is Mike Harrigan. I am Mike Harrigan, coming to you live from the Braining Center in Leesburg, Virginia. Welcome to another edition of Brain Buzz with Mike. So today we are going to discuss a topic that's a continuation of something that we've started a few weeks ago, which is the discussion about various exercises, physical exercises, and how they impact not just our body, but our actual brains, okay? And so over the past couple of weeks, we've talked about things like balance training and how balance training isn't just good for enhancing your agility and your balance, but is great for your spatial cognition and also for your auditory memory. And then we also talked last week about leg strength and leg exercises and the correlation, not just the correlation between leg strength and enhanced cognition, but they showed that doing leg exercises, engaging in leg exercises, actually help you to retain your cognitive function later in life. And so today we're going to continue that stream of discussion with a topic of discussion on aerobic exercise. So first, before we dig in, talk a little bit about what aerobic exercise is and how it's different from other exercises. So aerobic exercise basically means that you're pushing your body, doing something physically that pushes your body to increase your heart rate and your breathing pattern to the point where it is necessary to accommodate that exercise. So in other words, if you're doing just strength training or balance training, you're doing it, and it might be strenuous on the muscles, but it's not necessarily pushing you to breathe harder or to increase your heart rate. Aerobic exercise, to the counter, is something that actually gets all your systems operating much more quickly. So you're breathing harder, your heart is pumping faster, you might start sweating, those types of things. All right. So why is it so important to engage in aerobic exercise? Well, it turns out it affects virtually every system in your body, and it helps you in many, many ways that some are obvious and some are not. So today, and many call it actually the miracle exercise. All right. So we're going to talk first about a few things that it does for you overall physically. And we already know, right, from all of our previous discussions, that if something helps you physically, it's very likely that it's going to help you cognitively as well. But let's start with a couple of things that it does, or a few things that it does for you physically. And everything we'll talk about are based on recent studies. They're all validated studies to support these conclusions. So first thing, it helps with your gut. And for many of us, we'll talk about this in another discussion, but your gut is often called your mini brain, very critical to your overall health. And you have lots of bacteria in there and good microbiome and bad microbiome. But what they've shown is that aerobic exercise actually increases the levels of good microbes, which help to fight inflammation and actually help you to stay healthier, right? It has also been shown in another study to improve cholesterol levels. Aerobic exercise also helps to manage diabetes, and we had a long discussion, multi-days discussion, about the need to control or prevent diabetes. Aerobic exercise is critical in that path, right? Aerobic exercise is also a great tool to improve, believe it or not, the look and feel of their skin. They did some studies and showed that women in their 40s that engaged in high intensity aerobic exercise had younger looking skin to the point where it was comparable to 20 and 30-year-olds as compared to women who did not engage in aerobic exercise. It also tones your muscles, and in many ways they're finding that aerobic exercise actually strengthens and increases the size and tone of muscles better than resistance training. Now, not all the time. There are certain times when resistance training is more beneficial, but in many cases, aerobic exercise is more beneficial in that way. It also improves your heart and lung health by forcing your body to, your heart and lungs to engage more fully, to increase the heart rate and the breathing pattern. It forces our body to use the oxygen in our systems more efficiently. And that in turn helps to improve the health of our heart and our lungs. It may actually reverse some heart damage that is done. It's shown in recent studies that aerobic exercise, in some cases, has actually been shown to reverse damage that has been done to the heart. All right. And then one last finding that they've uncovered recently in studies is it actually helps to improve your immune system. In many cases, aerobic exercises will actually reverse age-related damage to vital organs that are critical to your immune system, your kidney and your thalamus particularly. And those are that's very important because that's basically what's going to keep us healthy on a day-to-day basis, but also keep us healthy enough to engage in all the other activities that are going to improve our overall well-being. Okay, so that's all some general things that help to support why aerobic exercise is so important for us from a physical standpoint. Now let's just talk briefly about some of the things that it does specifically for the brain and our cognitive health. All right, there was a large study done, published in the Journal of Neurology recently, just March of this year, 2018, which suggests strongly that there's a link between regular aerobic exercise and a lower risk of dementia. The study was done on 191 women with an average age of 50 years, and it was a 44-year study, so a very long-term study that was done, where they assessed the cardiovascular health of the women, and then they put them into categories, 3 different categories, right? Fit, moderately fit, and unfit. And what they found, they screened these women over a 40-year period, continued to screen these women. And what they found is that, and I'm going to read this, 32% of the unfit women ultimately got diagnosed with dementia. 25% of the moderately fit women were diagnosed with dementia, but only 5%. Now think about that. Only 5% of the women who engage in aerobic exercise were diagnosed with dementia, compared to 32% of the unfit women, or 25% of moderate. So it really goes to show you that there's a direct correlation between these, a direct link between aerobic exercise, regular aerobic exercise, and the ability to fight dementia. Your brain is doing things that we don't even know what's going on behind the scenes, but it's causing our brains to enhance themselves and our bodies to enhance themselves. So here, let me go on to a couple of other studies. It's also been shown in studies that aerobic exercise will enhance your mood by reducing stress hormones. Other studies have shown that it reduces the symptoms of depression. If you walk, one study showed that just walking 30 minutes a day for 10 consecutive days had a clinically, statistically relevant reduction in depression for those who had been diagnosed with depression. Pretty compelling statistic, right? It also appears that it helps to guard against some age-related declines in brain connectivity. And we know that connectivity of the brain is critical, right? Those neurons need to be firing, they talk to each other, and those connections between them, and those synapses, right, are critical to us to be able to remember things, to learn things, to do things. Everything we do is based on brain connectivity. Well, what they've shown was that adults between the age of 60 and 88 with mild cognitive impairment who walked 30 minutes a day, 4 days a week, 30 minutes for 4 days a week, for 12 weeks, right? So that's what we're saying, 30 minutes a day, 4 days a week for 12 weeks. They showed stronger connectivity in regions of the brain that are necessary for memory, the hippocampus and some other areas. And then one last finding about the direct correlation between cardio exercise and brain health was another study done that showed that senior women with, a study that was shown to increase the size of the hippocampus. Now, the hippocampus cardio exercise increases the size of the hippocampus. The hippocampus, if you remember, is a part of the brain that is critical for learning and for memory. And that it's a staggering fact that this one simple exercise can have such a broad reach over so many facets of our body and our brain. It increases our memory, it enhances our heart health, it enhances our lung health, it increases our immune system. It enhances the connectivity within the brain. It helps to stave off dementia. All these things, right? And it's just by a virtue of getting our heart rate up. And it doesn't take a lot of time, and it doesn't take a lot of effort. You can do 20, 30 minutes a day. Get out, go for a walk, and if you can't go for a jog for 1 minute, walk for 20, 25 minutes, then jog for 2. The next day, each day you increase the amount of time that you're jogging, reduce the amount of time you're walking, so you're gradually increasing your capacity, and eventually you get to where you can jog for 20, 30 minutes. You'll see profound results across the board, and it will help not just your body, as we say, it will help your brain. Again, I hope this was helpful for you. I hope you're starting to see the trend that we're getting to here, which is that your good case is that you do a little bit of exercise every day. The better case is that this exercise you do will incorporate multiple types of exercise. So you get a program that puts in some balance training, some leg training, some cardiovascular training. Now, you don't have to do all of these every day, but get on a program that's incorporating different types of physical activities into your workout routine. And then, of course, the best case scenario is that you're doing that while you're also challenging your brain with cognitive challenges. And so now you're getting the comprehensive brain body workout that is optimal for everybody. All right. Well, there again, it's hope this was helpful for you. If you have any questions, you can always contact us at brainingcenter@headstrong1.com. That's brainingcenter@headstrong1.com. And until next week, I hope you have a fantastic day. Thank you.